in Berlin after a day of what looked like, Rich, fantastic tourism.
Amazing sightseeing.
Live from Germany. Happy Tuesday to you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm chiming in right around dinner time Tuesday night. Kind of you to talk about my day of getting out and about, and part of the reason why I was able to do it is because I slept like a baby. I did. I told you guys. I told you when you were like, "Hey, the Jets game. What time does that start? Your time, 2 a.m. You're going to stay up for it?" And I gave you the 2 words. Hell no.
Hell to the
Those
no.
are the
Smartest thing you've ever done.
No, because I thought there was a great chance of some sort of reverting to the offensive mean, or just 2022 roosting on the Jets offense all over again. And sure enough, I woke up this morning, and I grabbed my phone, put on my glasses, looked at it, and saw the headline that the Jets, referring to their offensive output, is quote unquote inexcusable. And I'll be straight up with you. I might have awakened the people here in my hotel just laughing, because I'm like, yep. Because why would they struggle against a team that has one of the worst defenses in the NFL statistically, despite having talent all over the lot? Why would they struggle when they got Breece Hall and they've got Garrett Wilson and they've got Zach Wilson playing statistically well of late, and then the tape heads like Kurt Warner, my colleague in the booth from this past weekend, Dan Orlovsky. We had Daniel Jeremiah, who I adore and respect greatly, saying, Zach is making throws and getting put in situations that are very difficult for him to actually go ahead and convert. And sure enough, that's what happened last night. And so 27-6 is the final score. And I got to tell you, at that point, I'm like, all right, I'll just look at the highlights of it and see all 22 types, including Orlovsky, show offensive schemes that weren't good enough and throws that weren't good enough. And everybody chipped in. Fumbles by Zach and Garrett with a drop, right? There was a drop in the end zone as well by the Jets. It was a whole host of, slipping up. And I honestly thought this to myself, guys. I don't know if you discussed it earlier, but how in the world does a team like the Jets, with as smart of people in the room, including Aaron Rodgers, I assume he's not in the room, but he's in the Zoom. So how are we struggling? How are we having this sort of problem? How are we not getting better appreciably? We saw it starting against Kansas City, of all teams and of all games on a Sunday night, against the Chiefs defense that I just saw hold down Tua pretty damn well here in Germany, and they've been doing it. I mentioned how this is a team that has one of the top defenses in the NFL. Saw them beginning to improve, and then winning in Denver, and then this is one of the two things I thought waking up this morning. Is the Eagles have to be looking at this saying, how the hell do we lose to this team? How the hell is this the team that we lost our one game to? That's number one. And the other one, just to complete the thought that I've been talking about over the last couple of minutes, how does this team struggle with all these smart people in the room or in the Zoom? And somebody who has to explain basically his name to people, learn the names of the people he's throwing to, bring the offensive line around him in the middle of a game, live football, if you will, bullets flying, have to bring them together in the middle of a game to tell them, this is my cadence. This is what it sounds like. How does that guy and Josh Dobbs show straight up to Minnesota and put damn near all 31 of those points against Atlanta in a good defense in its own right? How does he do that for the Minnesota Vikings in just 5 days? And this guy and Zach Wilson and this offense with Nathaniel Hackett and this offense with all those talented players looks like that on Monday night. I don't think there's an answer for it. I don't know if the answer is out there, but I saw what you tweeted out, Chris. And, and I'm sure Jets fans are sitting around saying, could have had Josh Dobbs here too. If you want to cough up like a 6, they coughed up a 6 to Arizona for him. He was available. He's sitting out there. Why didn't you go do that to try and at least put some pressure on Zach, or at least take some pressure off him? And I saw that tweet, and it's a very good thought, to be straight up with you, Chris. Because why, if he did that in Minnesota in the middle of a game that he wasn't even starting, and he just got there to Minnesota and he looked like that and he's getting game balls and hosannas in a locker room like he got in Minnesota. And Zach Wilson in this offense has got to go back to an otherwise championship-ready defense and go, my bad once again. It's just a total, complete, to use the sports talk phrase, abomination on that front.
The 3-game winning streak right before the trade deadline was fool's gold, right? It lulled them, Rich, into this idea that they could survive and get there.
Maybe, and I think part of the reason of this too is also it's Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers that basically right now, and the reason why I say it's Aaron Rodgers is that they have him in their mind's eye. They spent the trade deadline not going after Josh Dobbs, but apparently going after Devontae Adams to try and bring him here. And in a way, I see what I saw last night, and I understand he didn't light it up with Aiden O'Connell right there, but he has the same number of wins right now as these New York Jets have right now. And that's it's when I say Aaron Rodgers, I'm not putting any blame on him. I'm saying that they are still putting all their eggs in his basket to return this year, to the point where, Robert Saleh was asked, are you going to replace the play caller? And he said, no. And part of the reason why is because that guy on the screen right there wouldn't appreciate it, wouldn't like it, that's his guy right there. And he's got to turn to his guy and basically say, do you see that I have no crutches on? Do you see that I'm flinging the ball 50 yards, although nobody's rushing me and I'm not going to get hit? But do you see this? If you want me back, everybody in here, he even told McAfee the Jets have to be, quote unquote, alive for him to do that. And the problem for them is now they had an opportunity to be a half game out of first and in front of one of the teams that they've already beaten in the Buffalo Bills. Now they're behind the Buffalo Bills. They have to leapfrog them. Now they're going to be behind the Los Angeles Chargers in this playoff hunt. This team could have been 7th in this playoff picture. Instead, they are 11th behind the Texans and the Chargers and the Bills. This makes them less possible to be alive for Aaron Rodgers. This makes them less in the mix later on this year. And the reason for this is based on all 22 guys that I see is there is zero imagination. There is zero pre-snap motion, pretty much. There is nothing that the Jets are doing to create some sort of havoc and question for the Los Angeles Chargers defense. And the question is why? Why?
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.